everybody. Sorry, I was reading the comments. I wasn't paying attention to the countdown. So how is everybody this evening? It is chilly here in Iowa. So I have a sweater on and it's the end of May. So I was sitting here and just a second, I'll finish my post I was going to make. I was sitting here watching television before and eating some supper, and it's like 67 in my house. So it's, I hate to turn the heat back on, but I may have to. It's cold. So I put my sweater on. I'm fine, I think, now. So how is everybody doing? Has everybody had a good day? I was busy today at the store, so it was kind of a just had sold some machines and just had lots of people in. So phone rang. So cool. People are finding us. We'll give everybody a few minutes to get in here. Hello, everybody. It's chilly and rainy in Maryland too, Roseanne. Yeah, I mean it's just been it's been unusually cool the last couple of days here for this time of year. I'm okay with cool weather. I'm not a big fan of summer. I get too warm, so. No, Nancy, I didn't. Nancy asked if I had taught this quilt on YouTube, and no, I didn't. This is just a quilt I did. I think I did it about maybe about 5 or 6, maybe 7 years ago, and it had been sitting in my closet, and I needed to quilt it. So I've taught the quilting of it. I've got a few of the other pieces from the quilt from Hello Sunshine to show you tonight. So. Oh, 71. That sounds nice in Tennessee. It's not real warm. I mean, it's only like in the 50s here. Let's see. I think it says 55 up on my weather station up there. So it's been fun. The store. Yeah, I said the store was busy. Everybody was asking me about the store, and it was busy today. So hello, everybody. So we're going to do some quilting again tonight. And I'm just about done quilting the quilt. So I got the quilt all quilted, and people were asking me about the last 2 blocks. And what I did with the last 2 blocks is I used the clear blue tiles to do those really long blocks. They were like 18 inches long. So I used the clear blue tiles and just split it into 2 pieces, and it worked out really well. I used like a 6x8 tile on that. And so the quilt is quilted, and I put the binding on it this weekend, and I have to do the embellishments. So I'll take a really good picture of it once I get the embellishments on. It takes a little while to do those. So I don't have it done yet, but we do have we're going to do the little bench pillow tonight. It's actually a bench pillow, but I'm going to hang it up on the wall and just make a wall hanging out of it. And, I'm going we're also going to have a drawing. So remember to get into the drawing. Oh, I need to turn on my drawing thing. Just a second. Let me turn that on so it's ready to go here. I have too many buttons to press, guys. So I have to get everything. There we go. Okay. So I've got so remember to get entered to win in the drawing, you just have to make a comment, and then it'll let me pick somebody. So, hello, everybody. Everybody's still coming in. Hello. So I like to chit chat for just a few minutes when we get in, to give everybody a few minutes to find us. So sometimes it's harder to find the YouTube video from Facebook or get into YouTube to find it. So chilly in Illinois. Yeah. It's been, hello, Maureen. Hi, Diane. Yeah, a lot of people are coming in. Oh, you have buttons to press on your new machine, Diane? Yeah. Yep. So that's the machine we're going to use tonight. So remember to get entered into the drawing at the end of the class. I will have you all you need to do is make a comment. So just make a comment and you'll get entered to win. This tonight is going to be part of, actually this wasn't part of the Hello Sunshine quilt, but this was one that was done at the same time. And this was one of the Kimberbell digital. It wasn't the digital dealer exclusive. It was a dealer exclusive that was older, and it says "Together, my favorite place to be." And it's the bicycle. So we're going to be quilting some bicycles today. And So this is the prize, is this little wall hanging. So I made it like on a canvas, and it can hang on your wall. So that is going to be the prize tonight. So make sure you make your comments so that you can be entered to win. So just a second, let me set it over here so I won't squish it. Okay. So we're going to be working on the bench pillow, and it's called Bicycles. And we're going to use a bunch of different kinds of quilting methods. So we're going to kind of do everything we've done with the other quilt and all kind of in one small piece, just to show you that you can use the combination. So you could use, I'm going to use Design Center. I'm going to use IQ Designer, and I'm going to use, I'm also going to use the Clear Blue Tiles. So we're going to do a border tile, and we're going to do a edge to edge tile. So I'll show you how that works here in a minute. And let's see. Oh, and I was going to show you while I have the camera up here, some of the other projects. This was all from Hello Sunshine. Hello Sunshine, the quilt, and then it had several little projects in the book. And this bench pillow was one of them. But there was also this real cute little wall, or this cute little table. It's a table runner with the tumblers and the little watermelon on it. Yes, this bench pillow that we're doing tonight is from the Hello Sunshine from Kimberbell. It's in the book. So several of these other things. So this is another thing that was in there. Let me grab my banner here in a second. I'll turn that off. Another button I have to press. There we go. So this is the little table runner, and this table runner is in the it's a video that I've done. So that I in the description of this video, I have a link to this video as well. So this is one of the first classes I taught with the Design Center doing the quilting. So this was a couple of years ago, but the video is still good, and it was this little table runner. So it's listed. If you look under the description of this video, it'll be listed there. So it'll take you to the I actually have I made a playlist of just Hello Sunshine. So all of the Hello Sunshine stuff's on there. And then also, so this was one of the things, it was the bench pillow. And then they had 3 of the little bench buddies. I don't have the pillows in them, but these were the little bench buddies. So I have Sprinkle Kindness like confetti. These were little pillows that were in there. Hello Sunshine. And then Enjoy the Little Things. So these were some of the things that were in that book. So what's neat about most of their quilts, they put small projects in with them. And I've always enjoyed making up some of the other things. So this one, I had most of the projects made up in addition to the quilt. So these were some of the other things I wanted to show you. I had them all done up. So, all right, let's see here. We'll lay these down here. Okay, so let me switch the camera over, and we will take a look at this bench pillow, or wall hanging in my case, that we're going to be quilting. So give me a second here. Get you turned over to this other camera. Got to get my microphone done. Just a second here. Okay. So hopefully you can hear me. Whoops, second, I got to get my little table to turn so I can see the comments better. All right. So this is my little wall hanging here. I've got part of it. I went ahead and quilted part of it. I'll show you a little bit what I did. So this was called Bicycles bench pillow, and it had 3 of the bicycles on it, and they had the cute little fringe flowers on it. And then it also had these tumblers at the bottom. So the tumblers at the bottom were just out of the scraps from the quilt, and they gave you the little this little tumbler template to cut them out is in the orange pop rulers. So it's one of the little pieces out of the orange pop rulers. So I cut all of those out and I just sewed them together. And then you like the end ones are cut off kind of to square it off on the ends. Okay, so I made my little tumblers. And so when I went to quilt this, I had to kind of look at it. Okay. and decide. We show how you will turn it. Oh, Cindy, what I'm doing to make it into a wall hanging is instead of making it, I'm just giving it a regular back. See, I just gave it a regular back like the quilt. So it's the same fabric as the quilt. And I'm just going to quilt it, and then I'm going to put binding on it, just like I did with the quilt. Okay. So it's instead of making it into a pillow, I'm not putting a pillow back on it. If I was going to make this into a pillow, a bench pillow, I probably would have just put a piece of muslin on the back to quilt it. And then I would have just put the back on, like I have a lot of the other bench pillows that I've made. Okay. So this one has just got a regular backing. I'm just quilting it like my quilt, and I'm going to put a binding on it. Okay. So when I looked at this, there's several different categories for this. So I wanted to do these blocks kind of like my quilt blocks. So I wanted to do these with stippling because these are applique, or not, I guess these are all just sewn. So I wanted to do stippling around these. And I wanted to do my borders, kind of like I did my borders on my other quilt. So this is the swirl border from the Kimberbell Clear Blue Tiles set. So I used that same to tie it together. So this is a border, okay? And then I just did the little, remember how I did the little serpentine in the small border on the quilt? So I just did a serpentine on the small border of this, because this is just a real small one, like a 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch, okay? And then I'm going to use the Clear Blue Tiles and do like edge to edge quilting on the bottom part where the tumblers are. So we're going to use a whole bunch of different methods here, and in this one design. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the tiles. So I don't always, I don't know that I use the tiles the most correctly. What I like to do is I kind of find tiles that work in my machine, the size I want. And then I also kind of, measure my borders or whatever I'm doing and kind of make it come out kind of equal. So when I did these, I measured my borders here, and this border that was right here, that, the seams are right here and right here. This border was exactly 7 inches long. So I used, and it was 2 inches wide. So I found one, guess what? They have a 2x7. So this one just fits in there perfectly. And I quilted the two ends with one tile. These are the Clear Blue tiles. This is the finished border tiles. Okay, so that's the one I used for this. So I measured this. I have it, it was exactly 7 inches. So I just used that tile, marked it, and quilted both ends. So there's two ends, of that short one. I'll show you the other end here. Here's the other end. Okay. So I did these two first. And then I kind of measured this long border here. And I discovered that it was around 38 inches long. That's usually what the bench pillows are. So I kind of looked at my borders. Again, I'm using the finished border Clear Blue tile. And I thought either 10 or 12 inches might work well. So I chose 10 because what happens is it only hangs off the end a little bit on each end because it's about 40 inches long. So I used my 10-inch one. It was easy to handle and in the machine too. So I'm going to use a 10-inch one. So what I did is I marked them, and you can see on this one, we're going to quilt one of these tonight. And I marked them with my marking pen. I laid and this is again 2 inches, marked it right up against the seam over here, got it all laid out, and I marked it with my marking pen, marked the bottom. We did this the last time, marked the bottom right here, and then I moved on to the next one, and I took my tile and I laid it down there, and again marked my center here, okay, and marked the two little marks on the bottom right down here so I could know where to put the next one. And then I moved on up and so on, and I marked it all the way down, to the end. And if you look down here, this last one is going to be just a little short of the tile. So I'm going to run off about 2 inches or so off the end. Okay. So that it'll work out just fine. And so I've already got one of those done. The first thing I did when I quilted this is I started in the center, and we're going to do the design center first. And I did my my little bicycles. Okay, so there was 2 bicycles I did. These were just plain, and then this one down here at the bottom is just a plain block. I went ahead and just used a stipple because they have you put all these mylar balloons on there. So I wanted to be able to really see the balloons and not have a real, real standout type of quilting. So I just did stippling down here. Okay, we're going to do the stippling the same way in this block that we're going to do tonight. Okay, and then I knew I needed to quilt this border down here, and it's really a border, but it's more or less edge to edge. So I kind of measured it again, and it is 6 inches wide. So I found a 6-inch tile, and again, it's roughly 38 inches long. So I picked one that was more or less the size I needed. So it's 6 by 10. And this is a finished block. So this is going to be more like edge to edge quilting. Okay. And then I just, again, did the same thing. I marked it. I think I marked it from the other side. And I'm going to use the swirl pattern in this one too, so that all of my patterns match. So this is, I marked it from up here. This is the top. And I laid it down right up against the seam line here, and then marked my center, and then marked the bottom down here, so I knew where to go. Okay, turn it around so you can see it better. Okay, and then I just went down, and so there'll be 4 hoopings on here. Okay, so that is the clear blue tiles. I kind of, technically, I think the way you're supposed to use them is use, like the tile, and then you're supposed to have one that's like short at the end. I usually just let it go off the end, which is fine, and it doesn't show. I mean, people don't notice it. So that's how I do it. And so I don't have to use so many different sizes of tiles so that I don't, I remember what I'm doing. So tonight we're only going to be using on what we're going to do tonight, this 2 by 10 finished border one for the borders. And I already used the 7-inch one. Okay. And I'm going to use the 6 by 10 finished block for the edge to edge. All right, so that's the clear blue tiles we're using tonight. You got to mark them. All right, so the first thing though we're going to do is we're going to do a little more with Design Center, IQ Designer. And I'm going to grab my hoop here just a minute. I'm going to be using my 9 by 14 hoop. This is my favorite one to hoop to quilt in, because it's not too big, but it's big enough that I can sometimes get more than 1 block at a time. So I'm just going to go ahead and slip the base in. I'm just slipping the base of the hoop in, maybe. I love the bicycles too. Aren't they cute? Somebody said they liked the bicycles. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of get this lined up here. I've got it pin basted. You can see my pins in here. I pin basted it. So I've got just my backing, same backing as I had on the quilt, piece of Hobbs 80/20 batting, and then my top, and then I pin basted it. Okay, and I've been taking the pins out as I've been working on it. All right, so we're going to get this kind of centered in here. Now this block is a little different. So I wanted to wait and do this one with you guys so you could see. This block's a little different. This block, it's 6 by 8 from here to here, but you can see there's just a little plain piece right here. And I thought, well, we can do this all in one hooping. We can quilt it all together. But so we're going to make our square, I think it was 6 by 10 instead. And then we're going to have to move our little bicycle stamp, because remember we made stamps. So if you haven't seen that video, it's also linked in the description below so that you can see me doing the quilt. And we did this quite a long time so you could see the quilt. But this is going to be just this one block tonight. Okay, so let's go over here. And we need to make our pattern for this. And this is going to be done in Design Center or IQ Designer. So I'm going to go in first though, because I need my stamp for that bicycle. I need like an outline of my bicycle. So I'm going to hit embroidery first, and I'm going to go to my stick because that's where my designs are. And this was a 6x10 design. There's no police. Thanks, Carol. Okay, so we're going to go into my Hello Sunshine quilt. We have to go get that stamp first, and that's how we get it to go around the bicycle. So I'm going to go get that design, and I believe it was the 6x10 one. Let's see, I think it was in the added dimension blocks because it had the, yeah. So here's my bicycles, but we need to go up to where the 5 or the 6x10 size ones are. I think they're down here. Here we go. And it's pointing down. So it's this one right here. The little basket's this way. So we're going to click on this one. Okay. And that's going to bring that up. I think that's the right size. Let me just check. Yeah. Okay. So this is the size that we need. And I need to get an outline of that so that I can bring it into Design Center to create my design. So I've got my little bicycle up. I'm going to hit set. And in edit, there's the little, this is the little stamp key. It looks like the little open flower, the little flower outline. So I'm going to click on that. And it's going to come up and ask me, how far away do you want to be from your bicycle? So I'm just going to let it go right up to the bicycle, and that's fine. You can have it just on the outside, outline the outside of the bicycle, or you can hit inside and it will do everything. Well, I don't really need to quilt in there, so I'm just going to leave the inside part off and just go around the outside edge of my bicycle. So now all I have to do, a little lower so you can see it, hit memory and OK. And where that goes and saves is in Design Center, so or IQ Designer if you have IQ Designer. So it's going to be saved in there now, and we're ready to do the design that we need. So this I don't need anymore. I'm just going to hit the little house button up here, and we're going to go into Design Center. Okay, so I'm going to hit this button. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to scan this because I want to be able to see this on my, since there's that little extra piece down there, I want to scan this so that I know where my block is. So we're going to go ahead and hit the scan button up here. And I'm just going to image scan. I'm going to hit scan and OK, and it's going to go. I know this is such a cool way to do this, and I love the fact that I can make my own quilting designs right in my machine. And I do that a lot, especially with this type of quilting or quilt, I should say, because my long arm doesn't allow me to go around my designs unless I pay extra. So that's why I like to do this type of thing on my embroidery machine, because then I can easily go around my appliques. So I find this very fun. It takes a little while, you know, when you have a larger quilt to do, if you're doing around each block, but it was really fun and I learned a lot doing it. Hello, everybody. People are still coming in. Hello. All right, so it's scanning and it's going to come up on my screen here in a minute. It takes a minute to do that. Okay, so here's my scan of the block, and we're going to be working from about right here to the edge of this, the inside edge of this border. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make my block. Okay, so I need to measure my block over here just to verify that I have it correct. So I believe it's 6 inches wide and up to the seam, and it's 10 inches long. Okay. No, I'll take the pins out. Thank you very much, Roseanne. Yeah, remind me, guys, to take the pins out. we're gonna measure first, and then I'll take the pins out. I am using the Luminaire, Sissy. I'm using the Luminaire. Okay, So the first thing we need to do is we need to make our block. And so I'm going to go get my little, I'm going to go up here first and I'm going to tell, I don't want it to sew out the rectangle. I just want it to have it there as a placeholder. So I'm going to go in to the line properties, which is up here, and I'm going to hit no sew. I don't want it to sew. I just need it as a placeholder. And then I'm going to go down here to my shapes and I'm going to get an outline rectangle and click OK. And then I'm going to size it. So I'm going to hit size and I'm going to make it, so it was 6 by 10. So I'm going to make it about a little bit smaller and a little bit shorter. So I like to use, this is how I usually do it. And sometimes I have to readjust the size a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and make it 9.95 inches tall. So not quite 10. And then I'm going to make it 5.95 inches wide. So not quite 6. Okay. I love the no sew feature. That works out really well. And then we're going to take that box, you know, that rectangle. I'm going to click OK there. We know it's the right size and I'm going to bring it down. So I'm going to hit size and I'm going to move it down a little bit. So I can just use the little arrows to move it down. So it's roughly in the area I want it. Okay, so there's our square. Oh, when you select no sew, so like this, can you see the square here, Cindy? Cindy asked about the no sew. Since I chose no sew first, this line will not actually sew. It's just kind of a placeholder to give me the size of my rectangle. So when you click no sew, the actual line will not sew. It's just a placeholder here for me to get my design in. Okay, so it's not going to sew. All right, so I've got this. Let's kind of move it over a little bit. There we go. That's pretty good. All right, so there is my rectangle of my actually 2 squares because there's this little piece down here. Then I'm going to go get the stamp that we made of the bicycle. So I'm going to hit the little stamp key again. It's that same key that I got the rectangle with. This one here. And then up here are our stamps. This is where all the stamps learn or live, okay? All right. So here's the one that we just did. You can, I think it only holds like 20. So as you make new stamps, they'll just slowly disappear. So this is the one we just did right here. So I'm going to click on that one and click OK. All right. So you can see that it is now up here, but it's not over my bicycle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click size. It's selected though. You can see that it's selected with the red box. And I'm going to move it up until it matches up better with my design. I have to move it over. So we're just moving it over so it matches up pretty well with my bicycle. And I noticed when I did this before, it didn't match exactly, but it's pretty close. And we can always move things around a little bit more later if we have to. So it looks pretty good. So let's try that. Okay, so I've got it kind of where I want, okay? And then I've got this all done. Oh, the stamps. You need to replay and sew along with the stamps. Yeah, the stamps work really great. So, all right. So I think that looks pretty good. All right, so let's start with that. Okay, I'm going to hit OK down here. And now I want to make this stippled. And when I touch the screen, it's going to stipple in between the box that's not going to sew. You probably can't see it now because it's kind of grayed out, and the bicycle. But it's not going to sew down here. It's going to just stipple down here because that's the end of that piece that we need. Yes, yes, you can do this on the Stellaire. Somebody asked if you can do this on the Stellaire. Yes, you can. And it is just a little different. You have to do it with the app instead. So you have to line things up with the app on your phone instead. Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, people are talking about maybe doing this with their machines. Yep, that's cool. All right. Yes. And I do have a video. Thanks, Cindy. I do have a video about how to do this with a stellaire. And it's under the playlist on Sew Along with Jan called Shields Live. And I use the stellaire for that. Okay. So I've got my parts here. I'm going to choose now. I want to stipple. And I'm going to use the stippling here. And I'm going to leave red should be good, the color, because I can see that on the white. And then I'm going to get my little paint pot, and we're going to touch the design between the bicycle, outside of the bicycle and inside the square. So I'm just going to touch like that. And I noticed that this is not filling in very well down here. So I wonder if I need to, let's see if we can fix that. I don't like that very well. So let's see if I can fix the bicycle. Whoops, now that's, we don't want that stippled. Let me see if I can select my bicycle. Sometimes I have a hard time getting things selected. Okay, I think the bicycle's, nope, that's the other one. Let me see if I can get the bicycle. I have trouble sometimes reselecting things. Let me get my, I wonder where my mouse went. I don't think I have it out. This is the square. Is it all together now? Okay, it's all together now. So that's okay. So let's see. Oh, I see. Can you see down here how the one tire is too close to this? So I might actually, let's see. Let's hit close. Let's do some more backing out and see if I can maybe get back to my bicycle. If you just keep hitting the back button down here, sometimes you can get back to, I want to move that bicycle this way a little bit. See if we can do that. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay, so there's the bicycle. Okay, I think we're okay. So now let's move this in here again. So the bicycle's selected. I just keep hitting back until I get back to what I want. So let's move that bicycle over a little bit so that it will not touch that bottom line, because I want it to stipple up into this. If in doubt, undo. Undo is our friend. I think it needs to go back this way just a little bit further yet. All right, now let's try that. I moved it up a little bit. Okay, so let's see if that works better now. And then I'm going to hit my paint pot and let's see. Ooh, that looks better. You'll see it's now stippling down here also. I got the bicycle touching the line down here, and that's why it wasn't filling in. Well, let's work on the stellaire. Yes, it will, Mary, but you do have to, you can do this on the stellaire, but you cannot scan like I did. You have to take a picture with your phone. And there is a video on my YouTube channel about how to do that. It's just, it's different. It works quite well, but it's just different than this. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So let's see here. I am going to hit next at the bottom here. It's right down there. And on this next page, it's going to let me change my stippling. So I want to, let's see, I want to change to millimeters for a minute. I went up to settings. There we go. I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to make my stitch length 2.5. So just a little longer. The stitch length is kind of short. Okay. And then I'm going to click OK. And then I want the density, which is the next one down. Have touched the bottom between. I don't think so, Maureen, because what it was doing, what you might have been able to, yes, that's a good point. But I'm not sure that it would have still filled in because my tire stamp was touching this line, and it still may not have worked, but possibly that I could have just touched in between here and it would have filled that as a separate area. So yes, it's possible. Okay, so here's sometimes I have trouble sometimes when I do stamps because they're, depending on how intricate they are, I have a little trouble sometimes. So sometimes it's just better for me to go back to the beginning. Now I'm going to make the spacing a little bit bigger. All the rest of them I did at 6 millimeters. So we're just going to do 6 and click OK. And then I'm going to leave this setting, which will be a little bit away from the edges. where it is. And then the last setting on here is actually going to be if you want a heavier stitch or the thinner stitch. And I want the thinner one. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to click OK. So that looks pretty good. And see, it stippled up in here where I wanted it. I'm going to hit set. And I'm going to hit OK. So now we're actually in the sewing end of this. So this is the sewing part. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and hit embroidery. And what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go ahead and scan first. So let's scan, use our scanner. So I'm going to use my little camera. I'm going to hit scan and I'm going to hit OK. So let's see how close we are here. So I'm going to let you watch it scan. We'll take the pins out here in a second before we sew. All right, so it's scanned up here. And see, it actually looks pretty good. So here's my design. Okay, so the design looks pretty good. I am going to do layout, and I'm going to move it a little bit down. And I think I need to go this way a little bit with it, to the right. And then we'll look at it with the projector too. I like to start with the scanner just to give me a little bit of a placement, possible placement. I think it still needs to go this way a little bit. There we go. So let's try that. Okay, so now we're going to look at that. We're going to look at the projector, and the projection camera is so awesome here. I'm going to hit the little cone. I'm going to have it turn on, and it should show up pretty well with the white. Okay, so this little box right here is our projection. Will it matter that you're in? No, it doesn't matter when right now. I can go back to inches very easily, Cindy, by going back to settings, and it's on page 9, and go back to inches. No, it doesn't matter at this point. Okay, so now here's my camera. It's going to make me turn it back on again. It can't. Oh, no, it isn't. It's going to turn back on for me. Okay, so this is now my camera. So hopefully you can see. I apologize for the prism because there is a camera looking at a camera. Okay, but you can see my stippling. And I'm going to pull my box. I'm pulling the box that's up on the screen upward so I can see the top of my design. So you can see that it is right up against where I want it to stitch. Looks pretty good. It might be able to come this way a little bit up. And then I'm going to pull my box. I'm pulling the box on the screen. And I'm talking about this red box right here. I'm going to pull it over so I can see the other side of the box of my square. So I'm going to pull this over so I can see the other side of it. And see, it's right down along the edge, which looks pretty good. Okay. And I'm going to go move it down again, and I'm going to look at some of this other part of it to see if it looks like it's fitting into my square fine. Looks pretty good so far. Yeah, looks pretty good so far. I'm just going to continue to move down. Okay, and then let's get down here to the end and see how we are. So I see I'm a little close down here. So I could probably go up a little, and it might be okay. So let's go over. We're going to go over here to this side. And it's a little crooked. I think that's what the problem is. So I'm going to rotate that just ever so slightly and see if I can adjust this little corner down here. So I'm just going to rotate it just a little bit because I think that's what the problem was, is it's just a little bit rotated. That looks a little better. Let's go back to this side. Look at this one. That looks a little bit better. Okay. And I still think I can go this way, but I may have to go back to the top and look again. Sometimes I make a couple of rounds around this thing. You know, I go around it a couple times to see. So we're going to go up. I'm looking up here to see if it's laying along here okay. And I know it's a little hard to see with the prism, but it's because of the camera. Okay, so here I'm right along the edge here. And I'm right along here. That looks pretty good. It's all running right along there. Okay, so then we're up here. So now I'm a little bit up too far up this way. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up. This is where sometimes I have to do this. I'm going to back up. I'm going to hit return down here. And I'm going to resize it just a smidgen. I'm going to squish it this way, just one little bump. So I'm going to hit size, and then I'm going to squish it in, just one bump. I'm going to go like that, just to make it just a hair shorter. And then I think I'll be okay. Okay, so we'll go back and look at it again now. All right. So now I'm going to turn my projector back on. Have to go back to embroidery. Turn my projector back on. This is how I line up all these things. This projector is pretty good. And so I'm pulling the box over. I'm looking at the top here. We're kind of in the middle, so I'm going to go down to the end and see how the end looks. Now, see, I'm still a little bit up, so I'm going to push it up a little bit. Let's see if it looks better now. And we're going to go over to the other side, take a look. Okay. And it looks good right along here. So I'm just looking at the edges here. Looks pretty good. I'm going to go up the other side. I think I might need to move it up just a little bit more, possibly. Let me go up and look at the very top here. Yeah, I could go up this way just a little bit now. Since I made it just a hair smaller, I can move it up this way a little bit. All right, so I'm going to go across the top again, up here. And I'm just looking at where it's falling along my edges. That looks pretty good. Sometimes it takes me a couple rounds. I just have to look at it and see where I got it. That looks much better. So I think we're going to be good. So let me go along this edge here. I think we're going to be okay. All right. So I think I'm happy with that. No, Cindy, I don't have a video about the tumbler blocks because I did these so many years ago. I wasn't making videos at that time. So no, I don't. I don't know. Did I ever do one? Let me think about it because there might be one somewhere. Okay. Carol, the whole thing there's no bicycle. It's just the hole where the bicycle is. So it was just the stippling that was moving, but it was slightly rotated. It was, I needed to move it this way just a little bit because I could tell it was rotated when I looked at it here. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead. Let me think about it though, Cindy, because I might actually have done some of those tumblers and something else in another little project because they've used those tumblers several times and I don't remember what I used them in. So I'll think about it and see if I can come up with it. All right, so now I'm going to take out my pins. I think we're ready to quilt. I am using my, I have my white Pima cotton in the needle and in the bobbin. I have a number 11 embroidery needle in the machine. There's a bunch of pins in here, isn't there? Is there another one back there yet? There's one right here. Is that it? All right, I think we got them. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and I'm in the sewing screen and I'm ready to quilt. So let's see how this goes. We're just going to take a look at it and let it quilt. So it's just going to do a nice stipple. I love quilting this way. This is a way that you can quilt your quilts, especially smaller ones. If they're too big, they might, you know, if they're too big, it takes a lot of time. This one was a pretty good size quilt, so I probably wouldn't quilt one much larger than the actual quilt that I did. This is just a table runner or wall hanging, but it's a lot of fun and you can really make them look custom. You know, you can choose your designs, you can use different methods of quilting, and I've really enjoyed doing this. This has been a really fun project. I've got another one to do. I still have the Halloween one. Which machine am I using? I am using the Luminaire. People have asked what machine I'm using. I'm using the Luminaire. So, and so the other machines that would work with this, you know, the Luminaire, the Baby Lock Solaris, the Brother Avenir and Baby Lock Radiance would have this feature. And then like the Dream Machine and the Destiny, the older machines, would also, because they have the they don't have the projector, but they have the scanning camera, and it's also very accurate. So, so there's a lot of different machines that would do this with the Design Center. The Dream Machines and the Destinies were the first ones that had Design Center, and then the Stellaires from Brother, the Altaires and Meridians from the Baby Lock will also do this, but you have to use a camera app to do the lining up. It doesn't have the same camera in it, but it does have a snowman. So it works quite well, actually. It's just, you just have to take pictures instead of doing it with the camera in the machine. All right, so see, it got all the way down. This is the second part of the block. Can you see the seam here? Oh yeah, yes, thank you, Maureen. Yeah, Maureen said, I did it in the Enjoy the Little Things table topper. That was where I did the tumblers, because that was another project that was a freebie that was about the same time as they did Hello Sunshine. So yes, I did sew the tumblers in that, because I sewed the whole thing with that. And then we quilted it too. So yes, Enjoy the Little Things table topper. And that was really cute. I didn't bring that home. That one's at the store. I have them hung up behind my desk at the store, and I didn't bring it home. But that was actually a free one that came out about the same time as they did this. So thanks, Maureen. I knew there was another thing I did that had the table, that had the little tumblers in it, because I used those quite a bit for a while. All right, so now it's going to go over and do this little part over here. Got a little tail hanging out here. Let's get that. Let's see if I can find my scissors here. We'll get that little tail so it won't get sewn in. Whoop. Got a little bit down on my piece here, but you know what? It's okay. It'll be fine. I must have been just a little off up there. All right. So there is my block. It is all quilted. So what do you think of that? It's so neat to do this. And this was a little different because, see, it was an odd size because we had this extra 2 inches here, see? Okay, so I did get down on my border here just a teeny tiny little bit. You can probably barely see it, but I can always fix that by a little bit of black Sharpie marker. Works wonders if you have a little bloop like that. That happens. So there, the whole top, all of these are quilted. Isn't that cool? So now we're going to work on this. Let's work on this border. Let's see. I think we need to go this way. So the border, and I marked these, by the way, with my heat vanishing pen, my Nifty Notions heat vanishing pens. So that's how I marked these right here. Now this is going to be, oh, you know what? I got to get another sticker. We're going to do these with our snowman. So you'll have more snowman. Got to get a new sticker though. My stickers are kind of worn out, so I'll get some new stickers. I like the old items pretty well, and I actually like the old stuff. So I'm working on most of the things I have to do are older items. So we'll work on some more of these this summer, because I've got a whole drawer full of Kimberbell kits that I'd like to do up. But this one was already done, and I wanted to finish quilting it. Okay, so my favorite way to use these clear blue tiles, instead of, and there's 2 ways to do this, I'm going to use my snowman feature on my Luminaire. This is a wonderful feature. Okay, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my little stippling. We're done with that. Or if you do not have the snowman feature, whoops, I got too many hoops here. This is a perfectly acceptable way to get these hoops straight. I can use my grid. Okay, in my hoop, and I can hoop it this way. So I put my grid in here, and we've talked about this. Now there is a video that I did the clear blue tiles with the Kimberbell Cuties, the quilting, and I showed this a little bit more in detail. So here's my center, and I can mark that, put that center right on my mark that I made, just like that. Get it right in there, and then I can hoop this in my hoop. Okay, so that is I can hoop very straight that way. So if you do not have, do you think you will do the Mayflowers? Yes, Cindy, I'm actually going to do that because that's one of the ones that's on the top of the drawer. And I know you want to do that one. So yes, I want to make that one. I will do that one for you. So as you can see, then I would take my hoop underneath and I would hoop this in with my regular hoops and my grit. Okay. So that's a perfectly acceptable way to do this. Since I have the feature of the snowman, I like the snowman feature because it really, really works well. And it especially for these types of with the tiles, because I can just mark my centers. Okay. So I'm going to take my snowman first before we hoop this. I'm going to take my snowman and I'm going to put it right on my center mark that I made here. So this is the first hooping. I'm going to get it right on my lines. Okay. And like this feature goes all the way back to the Quattros and the Ellissimos in the baby locks. This went back to 2008, the snowman feature, and it's very accurate. I love it. All right, so I'm going to take some of these pins out here. Oh, and also remember on the quilt, after I got up to the borders, remember how I zigzagged along the edge? This one's small enough that I actually did it before, after I pin basted it, I was able to just zigzag. So see, it's all zigzagged along the edge. So when you're working, you don't have to worry about your foot going underneath the edge of your quilt. Okay. So I did do that also on this one. I do that almost all the time when using clear blue tiles or any edge to edge quilting. So I did also do this. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to bring up my design first. And this is going to be, let's see, which tile did we use? This is the 10-inch 2 by 10 finished border. So this is it. Okay. So we're going to go over here and we're going to go get our design. This one is where I'm going to use the swirl, and it's the one that was included with the clear blue tiles. I love the clear blue tiles. At first I kind of resisted them because I used the Amelie Scott edge to edge, which I also really like. But the thing I like about the clear blue tiles is that they don't actually connect to each other. They appear connected, but they aren't. And then you don't have to try to line up the start and stop point. Sometimes when you do, you think it's perfect, and then it starts sewing and it's off a little bit, and then you see it, especially if you have contrasting thread. So I actually like the clear blue tiles really well for edge to edge. Okay, so we're going to go get our design. It's on my stick, and let's see, clear blue tiles. It's in my clear blue tiles, and it is swirl border. So this is a border, so we're using the border file. So border swirls, we're doing clear blue tiles. And that, I said it was 2 by 10, right? 2 by 10. I'll look at my tile to make sure. Yeah, 2 by 10. So let's see, 2 by 10. I use this 2 by 7 right here for the two ends. So those little short ends were the 2 by 7. So I'm going to use 2 by 10 this time. Okay. And then I'm going to hit set. All right. And then I'm going to hit embroidery. Okay. So now we're going to hoop this. How do you get a pretty end on the end of the embroidery? Oh, you mean like at the end of it? The thing is, you're going to have binding there, so you're never even going to notice it. Your eye is not going to notice it at all. Because I use these a lot. Okay, so now I'm going to bring this down. Here's my hoop. I'm going to pull this down. And what I like to do so that I know it's roughly in the center, I like to bring it down to about where my needle is. And like before I hoop it. Now this I'm going to have to bring over a little bit so that I can get it in the hoop a little bit. But this is very narrow, so it's fine. That's why I chose a larger hoop, because then I know it's going to work. And actually, I might even be able to use the 6x10 for this. I have it down here. I could use that because this one's small enough to go in the 6x10 hoop. But this will be fine. All right, then I'm going to try to make sure it's fairly straight in the hoop, or as best as I can do. See how I'm doing here. Looks pretty good. Okay. Oh, can you explain to her, Bernadette, how to do a thumbs up on the phone for the video? If you're watching on the phone, it should be under the video where you can give me a thumbs up. Yeah, because if you know, I don't know if you guys know, but if you give me thumbs ups on the videos, if you like the video, if you do that for me, it really helps my YouTube channel. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that it's really helpful for me, and it gets my name out there and gets people to see my videos more. So if you don't mind, if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. I'd love that. Okay, so here is our design. We're going to go over here, and this is how the snowman works. And remember how easy this was the last time? We hit layout. We hit the snowman picture. Okay to revert. What it's going to do, it's going to say it's going to revert. Whoops, I just hit cancel though. Sorry. Okay, we're going to hit okay. And then we're going to tell it we want it centered, which is what this little X means, that it's centered. Okay. And then I'm going to hit scan and okay. And what it's going to do is it's going to line up my design. So it's going to go find the little snowman. He's found him. Here he is. See, he found him. Okay, and it's going to line it up. And it says to remove the embroidery positioning mark. And I noticed, can you see that it's kind of crooked? So I probably have it in here quite crooked. So let's see how we do. Let's see how it turns out, because I bet you it's crooked. So I'm going to take my snowman off. Okay, got the same thread in. It's going to go up here to the top, and it's going to sew out that little swirl design. I've had so much fun quilting these things. And the quilt is going to be really cute. I can't wait to get all the little embellishments on it. The embellishments take a while. And so I haven't started the embellishments yet. And I think this one needs to have the Mylar balloons. And so I'm going to have to make some more balloons for this one too, because the balloons come out from behind the bicycles on this, and I need to make more. I had enough for the quilt, but not enough for the pillow too. I think I made this kind of as a after thought. All right, looks pretty good. Oh my gosh, there we go. It's almost done. Now isn't that easy? What do you think of that? So this is a border design. So make sure when you're picking your design that you're going to quilt with, that it is the correct type. This was border. Okay. Cool. And look, remember how crooked that was in the hoop? You saw it on the screen. It looked pretty crooked. Well, look at there. It looks perfectly straight on my quilt. All right. Let's make sure I didn't get any pins stuck to my hoop. So I'm going to bring this up. We're going to do the next one. I'm going to bring it up. Okay. Let's put our snowman on so we can get him on there. I'll pull this down a little bit so I can get him on. Get him all lined up on the next one. We have these all marked in advance. I'm going to get it all lined up. Stick it down, and then I'm going to get all these pins out of here. I was surprised the day I was working on this, it actually went really quickly. Did you find it? You were able to do the fun thumbs up on your phone? Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to bring this up so that it's roughly around the needle area. Get it lined up, and it's still really crooked. See, maybe we can line it up a little bit better this time. Okay, finished embroidering. Okay. I'm going to line this up. Make sure all your board. Yeah, no, I just love quilting this way. This is a good way, especially if you do a lot of stuff with embroidery, because my long arm software, which is wonderful software, does not allow me to do around things unless I pay extra for it. Let's see. Oh, I am not using the Avenir. This is the Luminaire. I am using the Luminaire. So we're going to do the same thing. So now it's right over here. Okay. We're going to hit the little snowman again. I'm going to revert. Yep. I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to go to the center. I want it to go to the center. I'm going to scan and hit OK. So how is everybody doing with their snowman? Are they able to use their snowman features? Are they comfortable with it? See, it found him. There he is. So I will be using the Luminaire more, or I'm sorry, the Avenir more. I'm having an issue, Linda, with mine in that my camera is quite off. So when I go to do this kind of stuff, everything is over about 1/4 of an inch. And so my boss, who is a technician, is going to be working on my machine and getting it lined up for me. I usually try to put the batting. Diane asked, or no, Cindy asked about the batting, about how much I leave on the sides. And I like to leave like 4 inches or so, just so you have plenty. You need something to hoop to. Okay. All right. Okay. So there is, it's right on the dot there. And now we're ready to do this one. So we're going to do this next hooping. And there is a little space in between these. I noticed that there was a little space in between them, but it still looks really nice. So there's about this much space in between them, which is just fine. And I love, yeah, table runners. I really use the Snowman a lot because I do a lot of Kimberbell Clear Blue Tiles, and that's how I line them up generally. I quilt with them quite often, and that's how I use them. So I use my Snowman a lot, and I also use my projection camera a lot. Now, the other thing I'd like to work on this summer, I've been working on some really cool designs that are like multi-hoop designs, and they make really large quilts. And I think I'm going to teach a class on that as well. Just, it's a different technique to use. So you didn't use stabilizer in the hoop. No. When you are quilting, just like a quilt on a quilt frame, you do not need to have stabilizer in it because the batting acts as a stabilizer. So I just have my batting, and my top, just like a regular quilt. Because I'm quilting through the backing, unlike if you do quilt as you go, you're quilting just through stabilizer. So it's different. So there's the second one. So look, there's another one. It's all perfectly straight. So let's go down to the next one. Find my snowman. Line him up. Let's see here. Looks pretty good. Get it pushed down really well. Let's get rid of some more pins. I'm going to be so happy to get rid of all these pins. I couldn't figure out where all my pins went. And they were all in that quilt because I've had that quilt pinned together since last fall. I couldn't find my pins, and it's like, oh, they were all in the quilt. So now I'm going to have most of them back. Okay, so we're going to kind of get this close to the needle-ish area. It doesn't have to be exact. Let's see here. I'm kind of crooked again. It's pretty good. Get all of your... You haven't used your snowman? Oh, the snowman's awesome. I tell you what, when those Quattros came out, what a wow. Because, everybody I remember when we showed the Quattro in 2008, fall of 2008, it came out. I remember showing that to my customers, and I just started working for Tim. I'd worked for him for about a year. So we're going to go back to our snowman. So here's our design. I'm going to hit my snowman. Okay to revert? Yep, that's fine. We're going to go to the center, hit scan, and okay. So it's going to find the snowman. So I remember showing that machine, and that was the first machine that brother ever had that was close to $10,000. And I thought people were going to fall off their chair when I showed them. I told them how much the machine cost, and boy, did we sell a lot of Quattros because they had this feature, and this is like the bomb. Yes, where I marked it with the clear blue tile. Yes, Cindy. So, that's where I'm putting the snowman, is right on that center mark that I marked with my pen. Okay, so here it is. It found it. It says to remove the positioning mark. Okay, I'm going to take my little mark off here, and my needle's going to drop right down on that little center point. Make sure everything's lined up, feels like it's good, and away we go. Have to hit OK first. There we go. And now it's going to do the next one. And I think we only have to do like one more. So yeah, so this was like a huge thing, and then the Quattro also was the first machine that had the scanning camera, and what a awesome feature that was. So then when they came out with this machine, and it had, this is the Luminaire, when it had the projection camera, I thought I was going to fall off the chair. I was so excited. So it was so cool when it came in. I remember getting this machine and it was like, oh my gosh. And I use the projector nearly every time I turn it on. Yes, the laser pointer. Yes, the laser pointer. This one has that too. The laser pointer is awesome, and that's also on several of the machines. Works very well. That was actually also on the Quattro. That was in the last update they did for it. And that would have been about 2013. Yeah, the Quattros. Unfortunately now, the Quattros, just so you know, a lot of them, we can't get parts for them. I feel so bad because we can't get many parts for that. So there's another one. See, it's all done. Okay, so I'm going to slide it on up. Here's the last one down here we're going to do. So I'm going to get my snowman. Get my snowman and get him all lined up on the line. Okay, take out the last pin. And we don't have to worry about this edge down here because I've got it all zigzagged down. Bring this down, get the snowman roughly centered. There's plenty of room in this hoop because that's why I like to use a bigger hoop. It gives me more wiggle room so things can move around if it, it's crooked and stuff. So I usually use something that's pretty good size. Just, this is my favorite hoop to use. It's 9.5 by 14. Okay, second here, I need to pull this a little bit tighter down here. I'm pretty close. See, I have about 4 inches. You still have your Quattro? Awesome. Yep, I'm glad because I know a lot of people still have them, but we're just struggling with getting parts for them. They just started not having parts about 6 months ago. We started noticing. So here's finished embroidery. Okay, I'm ready to do my last hooping. So I'm going to hit my little snowman. Here he is. Okay. So on your Quattro, Mary, you can do this too. Scan it. And okay, works exactly the same way. This was like my favorite feature. And I remember when that machine came in, and then when the Dream Machines came in and they had even more, I was just like, the Dream Machine, when it first came in, I thought, oh my gosh, what a weird name. What a lame name, Dream Machine. But it really was a dream. It truly was. Okay, found him. Found him. It's moving him around. I'm sure I was crooked, so we're hit okay. All right. Take our little snowman off. And then we will do the last part of the border. And the border's done. Now this is going to sew off the bottom just a little bit. And it's going to look just fine because when you put binding on here, you're not going to notice that there's a little bit of it missing. It's really going to look just fine. Because when you quilt, so technically what I should have done, when you quilt in a long arm with long arm software, you actually quilt off the sides and the top and the bottom by at least an inch. So you never really have a full pattern anywhere. So I should technically have done that with this, but it's not going to show that much, so I'm not worried about it. So the other thing I wanted to ask people, I do have a long arm. Is anybody interested in seeing a long arm run with automation? That's something I've thought about doing, is showing you my long arm with the automation. Now you see why I wanted to zigzag that down so it goes right over the edge and I don't have to worry. So let me know in the comments if you're interested in maybe seeing some automation on the long arm, because a lot of people have never seen a long arm run. They're pretty cool. All right, there we go. It's all done. So that border is done. So now let's do the edge to edge down over here. So there we are. So look, there's all the, okay. So there's all the little border. It's all beautiful and ready to go. I'm ready for, and I just did the serpentine on my sewing machine. What do you use for your automation? Oh, what's my automation? So my long arm is a Baby Lock Crown Jewel 3. And it can be used, I'm using the Grace Robotics. It's called Quilter's Creative Touch. And it's very user-friendly. So I love it. All right, so now this is also going to be done roughly the same way. So I'm going to get my snowman ready. Let's put our snowman on here. And I have marked this one, but this is going to be a block pattern. So it's a little different than the border patterns are. It's still the same one, so I'm still going to use the swirls so that it all matches. And I'm going to get my snowman in here and make sure he's straight. Okay, let's take some of these pins out. Isn't it going to be so cute? I know, I couldn't wait to get this quilt quilted because it's such an adorable quilt. And it's been sitting in my closet. I can't even tell you when I did this. It was long before COVID hit. So it probably at least 6, 7 years ago I did this. And it's just been sitting there ready to be quilted. And I just needed to quilt it. So that's what we're doing. I figured you guys could help me out, right? All right. So I chose, what size was it? It was the 10-inch one again. So these are the finished block tiles. Okay, so this is 6 by 10. So we need to go over here and get our design. This is like the swirls are my favorite designs. So, okay, so we're going to go and get that. So let me hit the house button up here. We're going to go back to embroidery. I'm going to go back to my stick and Clear Blue Tiles. That's where it is. Embroidery files, PES. And instead of borders now, we're going to go up here to where it says swirls. So this is the regular swirl designs. So I'm going to get these, like the edge to edge ones, Clear Blue Tiles. And then I'm going to go find my swirls. Let's see here. So I needed, what did I say? 6 by 10. So I need to go down here a little further. 6 by 10 is right here. Okay. Yeah, the first crown jewel. Yeah, the first, my machine works great. And the crown jewels were just like little workhorses. So here's my block. Okay. And it still has the swirls, but it's not going to be just a border. It's going to be more of an overall pattern. So I'm going to hit set, make sure I got the right size, 6 by 10. Yes, 6 by 10. Yes. I'm going to hit set and embroidery. Okay, so this is going to be basically edge to edge. I have a lot of UFOs to finish, Roseanne. I have 20 quilts in my closet that need to be quilted. And I thought, if you guys would like to see the long arm run, then it would give me the excuse to actually get it out and run it. You know, to like run it for you, because I don't quilt that much because I always feel like I should be working on something for you guys, you know. But the quilting is really cool. So we're gonna hoop this in here. Move the camera over here. We're gonna get this hooped in here. Now this one we're gonna have to be a little closer to the center just because this is a wider piece. So we're just gonna make sure that we're fairly close to the center mark where our snowman is. Looks like I need to take some more pins out. Couple more. And get it in here kind of straight. You like to see the long arm? And it's cool if you've never really seen, like I know a lot of you probably don't, have long arms, but I mean, maybe you're interested in seeing, like when you send your quilt away, what actually happens when you're long arming it. It's kind of neat. It's kind of a neat process. I should have my friend Judy teach that class because she long arms for charity. And I think she's done about 50 quilts already this year. I like the long arm a lot. Okay. So there is our next section. So this is going to be this big area here. So I'm going to go again. Same thing. I'm going to go run over here to my layout. I'm going to get my snowman. I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to have it in the center and hit scan and OK. I love sewing machines. You can tell I have quite a few of those. Oh, you have a baby lock, Ariel. I do not have a long arm, but if you want to work on your backlog, I'm good game. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I just have, oh my God, I have 20, I must have 20 quilts in my closet to quilt yet. And they're all really cute quilts. And most of them I'm going to donate. I'm going to donate to charity. So it's looking for the little guy over here. He finds him. Might have been mad because I stuck my finger up there. Yeah, the long arm is really cool, and this automation runs a lot like the embroidery machine, so it's going to look a lot like what we're doing right here, to be quite honest. It's very easy. Okay, found him. All right, so we're going to take this off. Okay, and we're going to quilt this. It's going to take about 1 minute, or no, 4 minutes. 4 minutes to do this little area. So we're doing good with time. You guys doing okay? How many machines do I have? Diane, you have more machines than I do. Diane Castle asked me how many machines I have. I only have, let's see, I have an Avenir and a Luminaire. I have a PR 1055. That's 3. I have a really old 1500D. And I have a Singer Featherweight. So how many was that? So I have quite a few, but I don't have I think Diane, you have more machines than I do. The Snowman does work similarly on the Stellaire, but you need to use the camera app, the phone app, to run it. So so what you have to do is get I've got a video about it that I did it, and it works quite well, but you do have to use the app to run it. So see, I'm off on the edge just a little bit, but that's okay. It'll be fine. When you put your binding on here, who's ever going to see that? So it's going over the edge just a little bit. So that's why I zigzag this all down, because if it gets close to the edge, you can really have a problem. I had tried all the different methods that they recommended for the edges, and nothing ever worked except the zigzag. Barbara, the video is under Sew Along with Jan, YouTube on Sew Along with Jan, and it's under the playlist Shields Live, and it talks about quilting with the Stellaire, and it's under Shields Live. Yes, Charlene, I did zigzag it all the way to the back. So here's my, can you see it? Okay. So here's the zigzag all the way through. So when after I pin basted the whole thing, this one here, I was able to After I pin basted it, then I zigzagged. The big quilt, I did most of the quilting and got out to the edges, and then I zigzagged along the edge because it was so big. This one, so the smaller stuff I usually zigzag right away, but the big stuff, it's too big. I need to quilt some of it before I can zigzag the edges. So I'm a little bit off over here. That's okay. I must have been a little crooked. I don't think anybody's going to notice. Or I could have marked it crooked too. Oh, cool. Yeah, I have quite a few machines, and I have a long arm too. So, yeah, I have quite a few machines. I love sewing machines. I've worked for a sewing machine dealer for almost 20 years. So. Yes, Bernadette, it does matter where you put the stickers. So what I'm used, when I took my, Bernadette asked if it matters where you put the sticker, and yes, it does. So what I did is I took these tiles and I marked the center on the tile, just like I always do, in the center point, and that's where I'm putting the sticker, okay? So that's where I'm putting it, is where I marked my center of this with using my tiles. So I'm basically marking your center mark with this. And that's where the sticker goes. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so cute. I wish you could see the you can probably see the quilting pretty well with the indentation, but I used white thread, so I didn't want to. I was thinking about using other color threads so you could see it better. Okay, so there's that section. So you don't feel bad about your 4 now. That's funny. I mean, I think most people have a lot of. So there's our first section. Okay, so we're going to move on down here. Put my snowman back on. See if I can get him lined up nice and straight. May not have had him lined up perfectly straight. Let's see here. That looks pretty good. Okay, get him lined up. Take off some of these pins. You have 27 old machines? Yeah, if you teach classes, yeah. We've gotten so we don't work on a lot of the old machines anymore because we can't get any parts for them. I had somebody I had to turn away today that had an old Singer, and we just can't get any parts for them. The part situation has really changed since COVID. That's when we really started having problems with parts. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to get this lined up roughly in the center there with my needle. Okay, get it back in the hoop. I'm really crooked. See if we can get it lined up here a little bit better. This was all like out of all my scraps from my quilt. So yeah, but yeah, I have a treadle also. I have my grandma's treadle. That's in my bedroom. It was in a really pretty cabinet, and so that it's in my bedroom as like a nightstand. So I do also have a treadle. It got to move with me to this house. This is the third house it's been in. So I learned to sew on that sewing machine with my grandma. Okay. So we're going to do this one. We're getting pretty close. We're going to have it almost done. So we got it. I'm going to make sure my snowman's stuck down really well, and we're going to go back over here. Thanks, Cindy. I know you have to probably go to work in the morning, so I'm going to okay to revert. I hit my little snowman. Okay to revert. Yep, that's fine. We're going to center it again, and I'm going to hit scan and okay. We're going to have this quilted yet. This has been so much fun. This has been a really fun project. I forgot that I had so many pieces done, like the little pieces done. Good night, Cindy. All right, so it found him. It's getting him all lined up. All right, remove the positioning marker. Awesome. Hit okay. And we're going to go back to sewing. Okay, so that's where that mark was. So that mark right there, you can see it where I put my snowman. So I have the little center dot and the 2 lines that I marked with the tile. All right, there we go. So this is how you would do edge to edge. This is how the edge to edge works. What I usually do with edge to edge, when I'm doing the edge to edge, I kind of start in the center and work my way out. I really like the clear blue tiles. When, like I said, when I first saw them come out, I was like, not sure, but I really like the concept because it's so easy for me to just mark it with my snowman and so on. I mean, it is so easy. And that's why I think I like them so much, because I don't have to line up starting and stopping points. They look like they're connected, but they're not. I know, aren't these cool? I really like these. These are from the clear blue tiles are from Kimberbell. I'm not sure if I have any in the Davenport store or not. There might. I know I have them in Iowa City. So if you order them on the website on shieldsewingcenter.com, I can send them down to you. You can choose to pick them up at the store. I don't know if I think he has some, but I'm not sure. But I know I have them in Iowa City. They're those heat vanishing pens. Yeah, there's a lot of machines now. I noticed that the new Bernina has a camera in it now, and it didn't before. And I know they're all very excited to have the camera. So, but we've had a scanning camera for a very long time. And the projection camera is like the bomb. I love the projection camera because it's so easy. But the snowman is like the easiest way to do this because you can just mark and then you can go. Barbara, I think I have one at the store, but I can't remember. I think there's still one there. It is a special one. It used to come with the machine, but I don't think the 1600s have it. The 1500s had a walking foot, but I don't think the 1600s come with it. I think I have one though. You'd have to call me at the store so I can look tomorrow because I think there's one there. What this is actually called bicycles, and it's part of the. Somebody asked, Krissa asked what this was. This is the project I've been working on is from Hello Sunshine. It's a Kimberbell quilt. I've got it right here. Let me show you the book. So here's the book. It's called Hello Sunshine. And then this is one of the projects from it. So this is the quilt, and we worked on this the last couple of weeks. And then this is the little table, or what I want to say. It's actually a bench pillow, but I'm going to make a wall hanging. Let me see if I can find the picture. Up here. A second, it was in the page here. Here it is. Here's the bicycle one. So here's the little bench pillow. And then it has mylar balloons up the back. So this one's called bicycles. But it's actually a bench pillow. But I thought it'd be cute as a wall hanging. They do have one, Barbara. It's the same one as for the 1500, and I think I have one there. I'm sure it will work because it's the same machine. They haven't really changed it. I don't have a pin. There's a pin down here, but it's not going to go down that far. I'll take it out. Yeah, so it's right here, but it'll be fine because it's not going to go down that far. It's only going to go down this far right here because that's where my marks are. So we'll be fine. I'll take it out here when we move it. Yeah, it's a real bummer if you hit those safety pins, so don't hit the safety pins. But yeah, this was all the little fabrics that I used. I mean, I used up all the scraps cutting up all my little tumblers here. All right. So down there's that one. So let's move on down the road here. So we're going to go on down. We'll get the pin. Pins out. Get some more pins out. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so cute. You guys okay if I finish it? I have 2 more hoopings. I better check my, oh, thank you very much, Janice. Janice reminded me to check my bobbin. I probably better do that. So yes, I will do that before we move on here. All right, let's get this out of the way. Let's check the bobbin. Check the bobbin. Oh, we're good. I think I've got enough to do one more. Maybe not. I might think I'll change it. I've got another partial bobbin here, so we should be okay. I'll change it so I won't run out. Thank you very much for reminding me. I get so excited about quilting that I forget to check the bobbin. So I'm changing my bobbin. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in. All right. So we're going to put our snowman on. It's easier to put the snowman on down here. Well, it's flat. Instead of putting it in the hoop, it's a little harder to get it in. So I usually put it on. Looks pretty good. Stick it down nice and hard, and then I'm going to get all these pins out of here. I'm so glad to have my pins back. I couldn't even have pin basted anything else because I didn't have any more pins. They were all in the quilt, I think. Because I do, I quilt this way quite a bit. All right. So let's get all these pins out of here. I know, I just love to quilt in my embroidery machine. Have you guys enjoyed this little series? I really enjoy quilting this way, and I want you to know how easy it is. It's not as hard. It looks kind of intimidating, but if you think it through one block at a time. And what thread am I using? I am using the white Pima cotton. That's what I'm using in my needle and my bobbin. And I have a number 11 embroidery needle in. Yep. So I want people to realize that you don't have to be afraid. And if you make a little mistake, it's okay. Did you mark your clear blue tiles before the sandwich? No, I marked these tiles. I did the marking right after I pin basted everything. I pin basted everything, and then I marked them. I actually just mark around the pins. If they're really in my way, I take them out and put them back in. All right. Looks pretty good. Okay. So now we got to go here. Where are we going to go? We're going to go find our snowman again. Okay. We're going to revert. I want him to be in the center. I'm going to scan and hit OK. And there he is. It's going to find him. So is everybody becoming not afraid of your snowman feature? Isn't it awesome? It's so easy to quilt this way. And that's why I like the tiles. Like when they first came out, I thought, well, why would I want to do that? And then all of a sudden I realized, hey, I can use my snowman with those. And I don't have to try to line up the start and stop points anymore. And it's so easy. Remove the embroidery positioning mark. Okay. We're ready for another hooping. And so that was the thing that I really like about them. I don't have to mess with starting and stopping points. And they look like they're attached to each other. Yeah, the clear blue tiles, they're a little expensive, but I did buy there was another set that just came out, and that's like for the larger designs. So I need to go re-download my designs because they added all the really long ones, like for the Luminaire. So I did buy those tiles. If you have smaller machines, if your machine is like 8x12 hoop and smaller, you just need the essential set. If you have the Luminaire, you can get all of the tiles. If you have the Dream Machine, you can get the first expansion set. So, but I recommend them. I've really enjoyed them. They're all on our website on shieldsewingcenter.com. So we have them in stock. And I have used them way more than I ever thought I would. You know, once I saw that I could use my snowman, I'm like, woohoo! So just those little things in life, guys. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. And then I'll have to make some more of those little, how many sets of blue tiles are there? There are 3 now, Teresa. There's the essential set, and that's where all the designs come from. And there's an expansion set, and there is a expansion set 2. And they're all up on shieldsewingcenter.com. So if you, depending on the machine you have, the big set, the last set is actually really for the Luminaire. So if you don't have this machine, you wouldn't need that last one. The small one is the one that comes with all the designs. And I just bought the big ones too. And depending on the machines you have, you might not even need the expansion set. So it just depends. If you have a smaller machine, you won't. Yes, and then the designs that come with them in the set are like, this is the ones, like the one we're doing, the swirl is in with it. But they have so many designs you can go buy. I have tons of their designs, and then they all work with these. So you can just use them with anything. So I can just go look at my book. I printed them out so I could just see what they did or what they were like. And then I can just use any one I want. That's why I like these. I actually really like this one as just a basic one. So often when I teach, I use one of these because it's in the actual Clear Blue Tiles set. Yeah, I mean, it really is easy, Mary. Don't be afraid of them. They're very easy. And if you need, and I think you're one of the ones that needed maybe the Stellaire instructions, go watch my video on YouTube. So. It is. It's about the price of having one. Well, in this area, it's not even the price of one. I can get all 3 sets for the price of one quilt. And if you need to have, whoops, I must have broke a thread. You might have to back up a little bit. It doesn't break threads too often. This Pima cotton thread actually runs through the machines very well. Thanks, Bernadette, for reminding people to give me a thumbs up. So we're going to back up. You know how to do that, don't you? You hit the negative positive needle down here. We're going to back up maybe, well, 20 stitches should do it. Just going to tie off with my tie off button here so that it won't come undone. And there we go. Yep, it's unusual that it breaks. Woohoo! There we go. I got a little tail I'll have to trim out. And Carissa, I have several others. So I did, people, if you like the Clear Blue Tile video, this one, if you want to see more, I have more videos, and they're linked in the video description below this one, because I did one for the Kimberbell Cuties. So it was a little bit more detailed. I mean, I start way back at the very beginning, and we mark the whole thing and everything. So this one's a little bit more abbreviated. But if you need a little bit more help, I just love these things, and they just work so well. And especially with some of the features that we have on these sewing machines, the brother and baby lock machines. It's so awesome to be able to do this. And just look how easy this is. You know, I just sit here and quilt my quilt. I just move down the row, and before you know it, the whole thing's done. So remember, make your comments to get entered to win the little wall hanging at the end of the video here. So we got one more hooping. Yay, we're almost done. One more hooping. We're going to move it up again. Here's and this one's going to go off the end, which is fine. So technically, like I said, if I was doing this as if I were a long armor, I would have gone off both sides about an inch. Okay. Because that's technically the way, but you're not going to notice it when I put the binding on, because remember, there's binding on the end of this. I when I was trying to get the binding on the other quilt, I have, I think, just enough to go around this, and I have a couple scraps, so I'm going to have to go find some scraps because I don't think I have any more of this little polka dot border fabric. I'd like to put that on this one too. Okay, so I'm going to get my snowman on here. Took out all the pins, got all the pins out, I think. Okay. Yep, hoop, hoop, hooray. Awesome. Okay, so then we're going to put this back in. I'm going to lower this down. And I'd highly recommend if you do a lot of, if you want to do a lot of quilting, get yourself some dime snap hoops because they are awesome. And then you can just move down. If you're using your snowman, you don't need any special markings or anything. Yeah, this is the perfect way to quilt small pieces. I don't do a lot of really big quilts this way just because it's just hard to manipulate it through the machine. But lap size, I've done lap size and smaller. So that's really good. The magnet hoops are great. Brother has some too. They are really nice, but they're a little pricier. So I don't have too many of the Brother hoops, but they are really nice hoops. So I'm going to finish it, and we're going to go back again to the snowman. Click OK. Going to hit my little center and scan, and OK. So we're going to line up this last bit. Oh, Diane Castle. Yeah, Diane, you want to check your. I got that at Walmart, and I think I have enough scraps that I'll have just enough to go around the outside edge. I think. It's been, I haven't looked down in my scrap bin to see if there's any more down there because there might be a few more pieces of it. But they don't have it anymore. It used to be on the bolt, and I don't think they have it anymore. Okay, remove the embroidery. Yay. Remove the positioning marker so it's ready to go. Last hooping, everybody. All right. Okay, there we go. Off it goes. So do you think you can do that? You think you can do this? How about the sash frame? Yes, that would work fine, Krissa. I just don't have any of the Brother hoops, and I already had the whole set of Kimberbell hoops, or of dime hoops, I'm sorry. So I didn't buy, I have one Brother hoop. And yes, a sash frame, but you'd have to be a little careful of the width. That frame's not terribly wide. Yes, you can use the clear blue tiles on any type of machine gale, but you would have to use a different, if you don't have the snowman feature, you would have to use your grid and your line it up with your grid in your hoop to get it straight, get it straight in where you want it. So it would be depends on what kind of centering features you have in your machines. But I think you do have, Gail, don't you have a Brother machine? So yes, you can use these in any machine, but the Brother and Baby Lock machines just happen to have these wonderful features. So the thumbs up, Mary, is in like under the video that you're watching. There should be a little place where you can click thumbs up. All right, so we're getting down the way here. And again, with this zigzagging, see, it's not going to be a problem to go off the edges. So it's a problem if you don't have it down, because that foot, the one thing about our machines, this foot does not bounce up and down, as you can see. It's stationary. And so it can be quite a problem if it gets under one of these pieces of fabric. Some of the older machines had a hopping foot, the foot hop up and down. Yeah, I love the dime hoops. I have almost all of them. My favorite one is this one for quilting, just because of the size. I use the smaller ones a lot too. I use the 5x7 a lot. I use the 4x4 a lot. The 6x10, I use that one a lot too. All right. And I'll probably just let it sew off the end because it'll just be an inch or so off. It's coming over to the edge. And this whole thing will be quilted. It's amazing how quickly, I mean, I spent a couple hours quilting on it before, but it took me a while to decide what I wanted to do. So the reason I did this video is several methods. So we're doing like an edge-to-edge method, a border method. I sewed with the sewing machine for the little serpentine. And then we used Design Center IQ Designer for the embroidered blocks. So you can see you can use all of these methods together and it looks seamless. I don't think I have any of these fabrics left. I pretty much exhausted all my scraps making all the little pieces. Yeah, the building quilt feature works really different, Krista. They haven't really added too many. I think the new machine has a few more. I haven't used that too much because you have to line up the beginning and ending quilts. And this one I don't have to do that. So I don't use it as much. I like the border feature in there because I do borders that way. But I haven't used it as much, and they don't have too many options in there. So it's doing the swirls. We're almost done. See, it just came off the end maybe about an inch or so. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so cute. I got most of this fabric at Walmart years ago. I mean, I've had it forever. All right, it's done. So I think the whole thing's done. Okay, and I'll turn it over. You want to see the back? A lot of people ask to see the back, so we'll look at the back here. All right. So isn't that cute? Look at all the cute swirls in there. Isn't that darling? Then here's the back. So yes, there's going to be some little tails. Okay. And what I do with the little tails, like here, when I get this red done, I will just go and I will clip those tails. Just be careful not to clip through your knot. And then I will just clip them down and you won't see them, especially if you wash it once. Like here's where I had that little goober, right here. I can fix that. It's okay. It'll be fine. But so like this would not be like a quilt. I would not quilt a quilt like this and enter it in a competition because you would see the ties. But this is a quilt for me, and I am perfectly happy with having a few little knots in the back. It's no big deal for me. Okay. So there, what do you think? So there's all, and then I'll take my iron and I'll get rid of my marks. Okay. You're going to do some quilting tomorrow, Krissa? Awesome. Yeah, this is something, I mean, if you have things to quilt, get your tiles out and mark them and use your snowman and away you'll go. I mean, I've really learned a lot by using these. And if you're just doing a traditional quilt, you won't have to go around these bicycles or embroidery. You can just do just go over the top. It's so fun and it looks so professional, doesn't it? I mean, it looks like I paid somebody $300 to quilt it. I mean, and I've done it all myself and I just enjoyed the process. Okay. So what do you think? Isn't it cute? I just thought it turned out so cute. Now I'll take some pictures when I get the binding on. Susan, you don't need the snowman. It's okay. It is easier with the snowman. Just use your grid and your hoop and you'll mark your grids and then you'll just line it up on your line that you marked with your little clear blue tiles and just hoop it that way. I've done that lots and lots and lots of times. It's not hard. Takes a little practice, but I do that all the time. I hoop with grids all the time, and I have for years, and I still use my grids to this day because I'm doing some stuff. That's one of the projects I like to do this summer is with one of those multi-hoop designs, and you have to use a grid to get it in. The way it's digitized, you have to use the grid, and because it's just, and it would force everybody to use grids. So I mean, it is really cool. I really like it, and it's just a fun project to do. So, oh, I have a lot too, Chris. I understand. I have like 20. to do. So I know there's at least 20 quilts in my closet, if not more. So, all right. So now we're going to give away our little prize. We will have class in a couple of weeks again. What day is that? June, is it 4th? June 4th? That sound right? Can you believe it's going to be June already? Yeah, 2 weeks will be June 4th is the first Wednesday. And we will do a class then. Next month, we're going to do some stuff with the scan and cut because I have to have my machine serviced and our technician's a little behind. So I'm going to, it may be scan and cut, at least for the first class. And then maybe the second one we'll be able to do an embroidery class. Okay, let me switch my camera and my microphone. All right, so we're going to have a drawing, okay, for this little wall hanging. And if you win this, you do have to be in the United States. I have a couple people. Do you have videos on the grids? Charlene, I show that in to line up with the grids. I show that in the video, and it's in the description below this video for the clear blue tiles, because I show actually hooping it with a grid from start to finish in that video, because it was a little more detailed. So yes, I do showing with the clear blue tiles. So you can go watch that one. How often do I have my machine serviced? I try to do mine at least once a year. I sew a lot, and my machine is really needing it because it's been over a year, just a little over a year, and it's really dirty. And it needs to be cleaned. So I need to have at least 2 weeks for it to get back. So that's why we're going to do a scan and cut class. The next one, I'm trying to come up with a really fun birthday project with the scan and cut. So that's what I'm working on this week. So I will get it advertised probably this weekend. Okay. So that's going to be a scan and cut class, in the first one in June. Please. Oh, how I did this. I didn't embroider on the canvas. I actually just embroidered on a piece of fabric, and then I stretched it on a canvas. So see, it's just a canvas, and like a canvas I got at Walmart or something. And then you pull it over, and then you use a staple gun on the back. Okay. So that's how I did it. It's on a piece of fabric with stabilizer on it. It's not on the canvas. So this will be the prize. Okay. And if you give me a second, I made a little banner with my email written down for you. So if you win the prize, you need to email me at janshieldssewing@gmail.com, or you can personal message me through Facebook with your mailing address, and I will mail this to you. Okay. So let me find the board. I put this up so you could see it. So there's my emails. Does that help to have that written down in case you win? So I put that on tonight so I could do that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go see who's going to win. Do you have a list of all your videos, Jan? Mary, you just have to go to my YouTube channel, Sew Along with Jan, and they're all there. And you can look through all the playlists. I have them under playlists so you can see what different things are. I'm looking to see. Oh yeah, the scan and cut class will be fun. And I also have a surprise. I'm going to do another video. I have a surprise for you with the scan and cut class too. So, all right. So this will be the prize. So let's see who's going to win. All right. So I'm going to hit the draw button. It's picking. Oh, Teresa DeWinter. Teresa, I know you're here. You have been here. Teresa DeWinter, you are the winner of the little bicycle. Teresa DeWinter. So go ahead, and here's my email right up there on the screen. And you can email me your mailing address, and I will mail this out to you. It's really cute. I had it up on the wall for a while. I just thought it was adorable. So it was one of the projects that we did in a Kimberbell club. So it was really fun. All right. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed seeing the quilting. It's lots of fun to do. So hopefully you'll all start practicing on your own. And how is your background quilt held up on the wall? Oh, the one back here? I have it on like, they're like those little clips that have the rings on them that you use for curtains. And then I just have them on, I have them on push pins. I just have push pins stuck into my drywall. That seems to work really well for me. So I do that usually because then I don't have to have as much stuff pounded into the wall. So I just have those little clips up there. I have a lot of quilts done that way. So, all right. So we'll see you in about 2 weeks. It'll be I think we decided it was the 4th of June, right? And we're going to do a scan and cut class. So I will get that advertised probably over the weekend. So if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks so much. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. And I will be seeing you in a couple weeks. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. My Facebook page is also called Sew Along with Jan. So you should be able to find it. And make sure you answer the questions that are asked and agree to the rules if you want to be in the Facebook group. That would be great. And I will let you in. Just make sure you answer all the questions, though, because that's important. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.